and tonight we are featuring the one and only Marvel writer, Ben Earl. Now, I know he's not with us right now, but how are you guys on the stage doing? Happy Saturday. How are we doing, guys?
Doing good. Another glorious weekend, and I'm happy to have Ben Earl back. This is great.
Yeah, nice one, definitely. How are we doing, Bacon?
Bacon's having some connection issues, looks
no.
No, Twitter.
But yeah, if you guys would be alright to just retweet the room if you've not done already, just while we're waiting on Ben Earl. That would be awesome. We have David Lee that's just jumped in the room. Welcome, buddy. Thank you for coming back. I know Bacon has had so many troubles with this app. I honestly feel for him. We've got Doglins who's just joined. That is awesome. Welcome. We are just waiting for Ben Earl, who's got his own NFT ebook called Wriggling. There is 1,001 NFTs. They are on the Salon Network. They have been launched by SoulType, which is basically a platform for NFT ebooks. It's really cool. It's definitely a great place for authors and people that are launching books in Web3. We're actually going to get those guys in a space over the next couple of weeks, which will be awesome. It'd be cool to see what the perspective of the space is and how they utilize it. And I'm hoping that these guys are going to bring some authors along with them as well to talk about, how they feel about the transition from the way they used to do things to the way they do things now. But how is everyone's weekend going so far? Are we all good?
Oh, good, mate.
Nice. Christian from the Stray Dogs Club and Doglins Official and Shibu Society. We've also got Tyler in the building. There he is. Ben Earl, the man, the myth, the legend. I've sent you an invite. There we are. He's connecting now. Ben Earl, sir, how are we doing? Thank you for joining us again. Welcome back.
Hey, Hey, how are you? It's been a crazy past couple days. I'm out walking the dog right now to get a little fresh air.
Yeah. Every space I've joined, I've seen you. I'm like, wow, this man's on a mission. I love it.
Out there and about there. It's funny because I think I've been in more spaces in the past week than I have been in my entire life. So, it's a mission, though. I really do believe in the fact that, there's such opportunity for how we can connect to fans as creatives. And I think, unfortunately, there's just a lot of misinformation out there. And, one of my goals is really making sure that there's a bridge between these worlds. And, and I always say, it's like, I'm one of the few people in this town. Like, a lot of people talk. There's a lot of talk in Hollywood. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." I don't do that. I'm like, I'm doing it.
That's probably the level of humble has just been brilliant, and I love that you're on such a mission to connect with a fan base and really engage with other authors, comic writers. We've actually got a guy joining us. I think he's going to be around 9:30. He's been in the similar industry to you for like 22 years, animation, comic writing, and he's out in the community. He's got an NFT project, and he's such a great guy. And I said that you two have got to have a conversation at some point because you both just have the same sort of energy about you, laid back, humble, just enjoy what you do, really want to connect people. So he'll probably join at about 9:30ish, and hopefully I can get him up to have a chat to you as well, because I think he'd really appreciate that as well, being in the industry that you've been into. So
yeah, no, I think that sounds great. I mean, I'm always about connecting to like-minded folk, and look, at the end of the day, the technology is what the technology is, right? We use it to create something, right? Whether it's a pen or paper to tell a story, or whether it's a computer and keyboard, or video camera or film camera back in the day. I mean, technology is constantly changing, and ultimately, in a lot of ways, it's evolving storytelling, but in a lot of ways, it's also just giving more opportunity for those that that before couldn't afford it. I mean, think about it, right? Like, 20 years ago, to get a professional recording done, music recording done, you had to have that record deal, right? I mean, or a bunch of money to be able to go into a professional studio. Now, I mean, I've got, whatever, $5,000, of gear at my house that, 20 years ago would have cost, 100,000, 200,000 or more. You can do it on your freaking phone. You can create content, in any way, and content being a generalized word. I mean, that's become kind of our buzzword, but at the end of the day, whether it's music, whether it's, film, stories, comic books. I mean, even now with this, generative art movement, so to speak, it's giving people a lot of opportunity to sort
Yeah.
of visualize what's in their head. Now, that's not to say that, you should go out there and, do that right. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's how do we get out there what we're doing? I
Yeah.
think, how do we tell the stories that we want to tell? How do we make the music we want to make as artists and creatives, and get it to an audience? I mean, look, 99% of this shit is marketing.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's where the content creation side of it came from with us, because
Yeah.
that was a big thing that we noticed quite early on, was that there were some really great projects and really well-skilled people, but not everybody wants to be behind a camera. Not everyone wants to do a front-facing camera. And that was something we realised. So that's one of the things that sort of brought the community together, was like the way that people did content for each other. Some people did websites, some people did media, and it just sort of became a moulded thing. So the content creation kind of became a thing that we used as a tool to sort of help the people that either wasn't good at it, didn't want to do it, or just didn't want to put the face behind the camera. And that is the beauty of Web3, that not everybody has to be doxxed if there's a trustless ecosystem in play.
But that was my experience with TikTok as well, was the collaboration of so many people, being able to help each other. That are no one that can help someone out, and everyone gets to make progress, and that was really cool. That was what I kind of really took away from TikTok, was a sense of community and people working together. It's been great.
Yeah, no, definitely well said. I just want to quickly welcome Crypto Magazine to the stage as well. How are we doing, Nathan Hale?
All good, my friend. Yourself?
Yes, living the dream as always.
Hello, buddy.
Yeah, how you doing, Bacon? You good?
All good, mate. All good. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, just thought I'd jump in and support Ben and you guys as always.
As always, absolutely appreciate it, definitely. But yeah, no, it is great.
Thank you, Nathan.
Sorry, Ben, go on.
No, I was just saying thank you to Nathan. I mean, look, I wouldn't have met you guys if it wasn't because of, for Nathan. And I think that is the beauty back to, how people can meet and connect. And, in this day and age of social networking and social media, if you use it correctly, you can really leverage it to be very powerful in order to move mountains and do really great things. And I think if you have the right stories, the right projects, the right things that you're using that power for, the opportunities are endless. And I think that's really where, to your point, it's really important to have those people that, have those skill sets, whether it's website building or just marketing in general. I mean, that's where I went to Nathan, and he was like, hey, if you ever need help marketing, and I'm like, that's the one thing that I just suck at. I mean, you put me on any stage, put me anywhere. I'm like the gun that you can point and shoot, but I'm not the one who builds it, like I am the trigger, or whatever it is, or, I know how to sell things. I know how to talk about them, and I know how to come from a genuine place of my creative art. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know the right tricks and trades of email lists and this and that and the right places to be. And, and that's where Nathan said, let me help you out. I said, thank you. I am putting my faith and trust in you. And, just point and shoot me.
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing about Web3, is that network and that connection between different people, different communities, and again different skill sets. Because we can't all do everything. And once you find people that you trust, that you can see a genuine, that you've got enough information to say, yeah, I can roll with these guys. I see what they're about. I see the way the community are reacting to them, and it's good that you can find something that you're passionate about that you can run with. And I think that's the point that you're getting at, and that's what keeps the energy alive in this community, is that we're just constantly connecting with people that just add more energy into that passion and just keep adding that value. I know I keep referring to that plus, but that's what that plus represents, is that we all add some value regardless of the size or the skill set that it comes from, but we all add something that gives the community that little bit more of an edge than what it had before you came.
Can I ask everyone who's managed to get a Wrigley NFT so far? That's the question.
Absolutely.
Who's a lucky holder? I'd be curious who's
I got one.
Yes. Which ones have you guys been getting? I mean, I got three rares. Common. I got a common too. There's a part of me that's like, God, I got to keep loading up more soul because I'm in the same boat as you guys. Like, the artwork that Soul Type has done for it has been incredible. And, the value, when I started talking to Paco about this about a year ago, and how we could do it, I never really envisioned exactly what it could be right now, because, I worked on a few of the PFP projects back in the day. One of which was one that I was personally creating myself with a company. Ultimately, that company later folded, just when things went belly up during, all the fun times. But, the challenge was we were going to do, I think it was an 10K collection. And I worked with an artist by the name of Paul Davidson, a Marvel artist who I've worked with before. I worked with him on a Ghost Rider project. And Paul hand drew every single layer of every single PFP. I mean, it was incredible. And it took him really a long time. And it's one of those things I still have it in the back pocket of, like, one day I would love to, launch that project, because there's such a deep lore and story behind it. But it was daunting and tedious and, time consuming and costly. I mean, we had to pay Paul, and I was like, how are we going to do this, for this Wrigley project? We don't have, it's the tough market. We don't have the capital to deploy, and be at a loss going into this project. And, it was really, and I was talking to my original artist that I developed the project with. He had come from Disney to work with me on developing it. And I was like, he's now doing, he's doing How to Train Your Dragon. Like, I can't afford, as much as I would love to afford Pat, it's like, can't afford him, trying to pull him off a big project. And that was when they came and said, yo, well, the new Mid-Journey has come out with, these incredible trained models that, we can use your text to create this, and we can have an artist come in and actually, change it and make it look incredible so that it feels very specific to the project. And I was like, all right, show me some samples. And, Paco came back with a few, and I was like, I'm sold. Let's go. And, just the cost effectiveness of it going into a project where we weren't already at a loss, having to pay an artist, to come up with all those covers. It was, it's an incredible use case to be able to say, yeah, like, that is where generative AI art, along with an artist, along with text from my book. It's not, just someone putting in prompts. This is actual, text from the book that was used to generate these scenes and these covers. And I mean, I was just blown away. I was like, yeah, that's a great use case right there, So
I love the way you use turns of phrase in a few sections of the book. They're just like little sort of common phrases that people just kind of chirp and recycle, and I enjoyed those little moments.
Oh, that's great. I would love. Well, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to talk about the book. Here's the funny thing. I haven't. This is me confessing. This is confession time. I haven't actually gone through and read the book in some time. I've skimmed through it. I did some just proofreading to a certain degree, but what you're reading is what I raw wrote, and I haven't really gone back. And
I did find the grammatical thing that bugged me, actually. In the subreddit section, there was a bit where it says "at the moment." At the moment, it felt like it should have been at that moment. It just didn't quite fit right with what I was reading. I had to read it a few times. But that's what you're saying. This is the raw. This is the raw version where this is you. Exactly.
Bacon, this is exactly what I love about this, and anyone that comes to me and says at any stage, "Oh, like the grammar here," I'm like, dude, these never get into public hands. These grammatical errors never ever get into public hands. This is like a misprinted banknote. This is what I love about it. Just the raw. This is it, organic. Whether it's because Ben's typing fast or he's just briefly proofread it. When this, I'm sure there'll be another level of these NFTs coming out, and when you hold the two together and read one and then read the edited, proofed, slightly amended version, they will feel slightly different. But the one that you're holding of this 1001 NFTs, this is fresh from Ben's head onto paper, and that to me is where that value is.
And I appreciate that as well. Yeah, and I appreciate it in the same way that you do.
I mean, it's funny you brought up that and the. As a writer, I so often battle the word that because it's one of those words that you can easily throw everywhere. And even my Marvel editors, like, I'll pull out that's and they'll put them back in, or they'll put in that's and or vice versa, where they'll pull out that's that I want to put in. And it's funny because that word that is one of those interesting phrases where, we're not phrases, but like words that actually, that and which, right? And it's an easy word to fall on as a writer, and you can use it so many times. It's almost like a filler word, right? Like when we go or like or the or like that kind of thing.
One of my bugbears with grammar is when people and I always struggle to put it into context when people swap the word that for the word what. So for example, someone will say, and again, I always struggle to put this into concept, but it really bugs me when I hear it. Give me two and I'll get it. So it's like if someone says, "It's one of those what I want," and I go, "No, it's not one of those what you want. It's one of those that you want. It's not what you. It's one of them what I want, or it's that what I was doing." And you go, no, it's not that one. That's just a bugbear of mine.
It's funny you say that because, like, right, for instance, when you're writing a character, right, a character can use those things because it brings sort of color or flavor to that character in particular. Right, where that character themselves, to your point, it's maybe they use things incorrectly, or maybe they have certain ways of speaking that gives it more of a feel. And that's always a big thing as a writer, right? You're always trying to differentiate your characters. I mean, obviously, yes, all the characters have some sort of your voice, in their dialogue, in their, expressions and things like that. But one of the big challenges, especially when you're writing prose, because you don't have the opportunity, because in the visual art form, you have a very specific way that character looks, right? And comics gives me that layer, because you can look and go, okay, that's the character talking, that's Daredevil, or that's, Peter Parker. I mean, you go and read Peter Parker, my Spidey version, it's me, but it's also like Peter. When I'm writing Daredevil and Matt Murdock, it's very different. He doesn't sound like Peter. He's not cracking jokes all the time. He's not, saying things like, I mean, I have, Peter saying some really dumb, cheesy stuff on purpose in the Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man story. And that's always the big challenge, going into Wriglin. It's like, okay, what does a 12-year-old sound like? What did I sound like when I was 12? Now my son is 12, and I'm going to go back and read that book, and I'm going to go, how is my son now at 12? Because when I first started this project, my son was 5. So it's been a long time. I mean, we're younger, actually. But when I really got into writing the book itself, my son was very young. So it's almost like I'm revisiting it with this sort of new experience of having a 12-year-old right now and going, okay, my son is 12 and he's going to Gojira concerts and, listening to heavy metal and talking like a freaking teenager. Is that what a 12-year-old sounds like now? Because I don't remember exactly. I mean, when we were 12, we were sneaking around trying to find Tommy Holtz's dad's naughty mags. That was what you did when you were 12 years old, running around in the clay pits
and climb trees
guns.
and build
Climbing trees, right? Riding bikes, playing kickball. We did all that shit. But kids now are very different. So yeah, it's always interesting to kind of take that and frame that into a story. But yeah, I mean, I would love. I have to reread it myself. Once I get a break, I have to turn in all my deadlines for all my books by the end of the month, and then I'm gonna go. Okay, May is for me to actually just get into Wriglin because that's what I want to do. But excuse me.
I like the I like the fact I was talking about it the other day to my wife, and she said, did I just hear you say you're looking forward to reading this? And I went, yeah. She said, I've never known you to read a book in your life. I said, I haven't. I just don't. But the fact that it's got me wanting to read it's not only that's kind of something that I don't do. And I always say to people, when it comes to reading, I'm as geeky and boring as it comes. Now, give me a 200-page legal contract. I thoroughly enjoy reading that shit. I will be there all day just reading it, pointing out flaws in the contract. And most people, that's just the worst thing for anyone to have to sit down and read. But you give me a Harry Potter or something, and I'm like, nah, doesn't interest me. Don't want to read it. But with this, I'm actually looking forward to reading it. I'll admit I haven't been able to grab myself the NFT yet, but my next job after this is to set myself up a Phantom wallet and go and mint. I won't just be minting one. I'll be minting a few.
As long as you don't mint the one of one, I don't mind.
Oh my god, I know, right?
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's what he's waiting for, because he wants to save his Solana so that if someone else mints it, he can go and poach it.
Exactly. He wants that Codex Discreet. Oh, that one of one out there. It's funny because when we were talking about the collection, I was talking with Paco and the team. I was like, we got to do 1001. Like, there has to be one of the Codex Discreet. Like, that's the whole point of this story. There's only one of this book, and this book is the connection to the entire. Like, it's where, basically it's where every story that ever has been and never will be written exists. So if you were to read this book cover to cover, you will know it's like reading infinity. Like, it's an infinite book. Like, that's the whole point of this Codex Discreet, and that's the fun of that character.
Sounds like the book's the key to the universe.
It's pretty much the key to the universe. So if you get the Codex Discreet, I am a jealous man. I will come for you with my Solana.
Yeah, well, when the team was all minting the NFTs, and then Bacon that was just speaking went and got an ultra rare, I was like, oh no, he's got the one of one. But
yeah, boy.
Which one was the ultra rare that you got? Which ultra rare did you get?
It was the Robin Hood one.
Oh, the Robin. I love those Robin Hood ones. Those are dope. There's one that my buddy's like, I have to get the Action Bronson one. There's this one of like Friar Tuck, and it looks kind of like Action Bronson. And he's like, I gotta get that one. I was like, dude, you gotta play the game. Go ride the candy machine.
Yeah, because I wanna read mine and make some content about it. So I have to wait for people to mint it and enjoy it first, because I don't want anyone to see the video before they get their NFT and read it. But can I just introduce you to Hangry Animals, just to the side of you? It's a guy called Andrew, and he's been in a similar industry, if not the same industry as you, for over 2 decades. And I think you two would be really good to meet each other. So yeah, Ben, Andrew, Ben.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going, guys? Nice to meet you, Ben. Cool space. Always love community space. It's a great vibe.
Yeah, you came and joined us the other night. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. Good. yeah, 20 years industry creative. So been through the bush backwards.
I'm sure we have. I've been here in Hollywood since 2004. So it's, but I started in New York, so that was another year before that. But actually 2 years. So it's been a long run, man. I'm sure we've got war stories to tell. Where are you located? Are you here in LA or?
Nah, man, I'm based in the UK. I'm Welsh,
okay. Yeah.
Welsh through and through. So
Yeah. Cool. Nice. Yeah. So you know the game.
oh yeah. So yeah, big shout out from the motherland, as we call it.
Yeah, nice.
What's the project you're working on? What is it, Andrew? Andrew.
Yeah, man, St. Andrew. So yeah, a
Nice.
project called Hungry Animals. So it's a big collection, 11,101. Yeah, bigger than 10,000. Why not? And it's a bit of a project around cross-platform gamified social participation. So each of the PFPs are characters in the world, and social interaction influences the metadata and increases the value of the character within the game. So we have interactive comics, 2 games in beta, and NFT collection to boot. So yeah, really building an ecosystem rather than just a PFP collection, to be honest with you. Very influenced by Turtles and some of the more fringe kind of developments within comics. A big fan of Turtles, but Savage Dragon, Image Comics stuff. So the wider world. Still love my Wolverine though, big time.
Yeah, I feel you. Wolvie is definitely one of the faves for me too. But yeah, no, actually, I was actually doing a signing last Saturday, with Tom Waltz. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He and Kevin did the Last Ronin book. Tom was the author of that Last Ronin turtle book.
Oh man,
yeah,
Last
it's a good one.
I've just finished reading the final installment of that. So
yeah,
I feel you, man. It's an
yeah.
awesome series.
Yeah, it really is. I was sitting there with Tom. We were talking about it last week, and he was telling, just about how Kevin, kind of dusted it off, and during the pandemic was like, "Hey, I've got this idea. Let me throw the story at you and see if you think it's of interest." And when Tom heard it, he was like, "Dude, we got to do that." And that was the birth of The Last Ronin. And it's interesting because there's a lot of kids coming up now that are finding out about turtles sort of through The Last Ronin, because that's what's, on shelves right now. I mean, other than, of course, what Nickelodeon's doing, but it's pretty rad. I mean, the fact that, something like the Ninja Turtles have been around for so long. I mean, they were my childhood. I'm sure, I was born in the 80s, so I'm like, so yeah, now I have a son who's 12, and it was funny. We were just talking about it yesterday. It's like, he said to me yesterday, I thought it was so funny. He's like, Dad, he's like, what's hilarious? He's like, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the longest title ever, and it tells you exactly what they are and what they're all about. And I was like, you're absolutely right. Like, that's a great, they're teenagers. They're mutants. They're ninjas. Oh, by the way, they're also turtles. You just go like, wow, you nailed it. That's a great title. But yeah, it's pretty wild that it's been around for that long. And now, Last Ronin really coming out and giving it a kind of a reboot with that sort of new kind of spin. The art, the style, the story. Tom did a great job, man. It's a killer book.
I love it. The not to give any of the story away, but that cyclical vibe is an interesting. It's always a good approach to storytelling, and the cyclical kind of approach is it's just a really fantastic ending for me. And the continuation of some really fantastic lore. I've just finished purchasing the IDW collection, or basically 15 books, volumes of absolute joy. So I've just finished I've got one on pre-order actually, issue 15, I think it is. But they are fantastic kind of stories to tell the turtles from start to finish. So it's beautiful work, man.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to be able to see that, and I mean that to me, like that's the beauty of comics, right? Like we can tell some really wild stories, and we can get it to an audience that, isn't your typical audience. Especially because I'm doing an indie book right now, with a great team, and we're looking to potentially put it out through Image. And Image is a great publisher in the sense that they basically they don't take any of your intellectual property rights, right? Like you as an artist and creative get to maintain that, and it costs you what $2,500, I think, US to be able to publish through them. I mean, obviously they want to make sure that you're a known creative to some degree. They're not just taking any person off the street and letting them publish through Image, but if you've got a little bit of cred or a good connection or a good story or a finished product that they can look at, it's a pretty incredible output, because you can get them in any of the bookstores or comic shops, or at the conventions. They have their booth there and everything like that. I think, to me, I mean, that is where this sort of new technology is, as you were saying before, I forget who was saying it. I don't know if it was that Revolution or if it was Bacon, but we were talking about how Web3 is sort of like bridging a lot of these worlds together between technology and creativity, and all sorts of fields of abilities. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's distribution. You need to get trust and quality and distribution, because otherwise you're just making stuff in a bubble. And if it doesn't get out there, then there's no point in creative. And that to me, it's like if anybody can mint, it's a lot like self-publishing. I mean, look at Amazon. It started off as a book publisher, and now it's the shopping mall of the internet. I mean, you never know where these things go, and that to me is the power of stories and books and things like that. It brings people together and helps them understand the technology. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like, how do you get people to understand what is an NFT besides what they've come to think of it, where Jimmy Kimmel's talking about his Bored Ape, on his talk show, and you're going, well, Jimmy, do you even understand what it is? Like, it's like you're basically shilling an image, and there's something like that's cool, man. If you're selling a piece of art, like dope. Like, who's the artist? Like, but that was the other thing I always had. That was kind of my own pet peeve with the Bored Apes. We never knew who that artist was. Like, she did an incredible job of like creating that artwork and those that first collection, and nobody talks about that. I forget her name. She was a female artist who did it. And that's kind of a shame. It's like this is supposed to be a place where creatives and artists are getting their props and getting their, and that I think is something that does need to change. We need to really be able to give the flowers to those that are out there, carving the way forward and burning.
Was it Polly?
I don't know. There was an article I remember reading. I think it was on Vice or something, where they talked about her, and she was just like a work for hire. They were like, "Hey, we just need a bunch of these like apes drawn up," and she did it. And then no one really ever. I mean, I think there's a few other artists that came in and did some work too, but like there was a main artist that did the collection. And I'm blanking on who it was.
I was just before this space. Literally, I jumped from a chat onto this. I was just going through my telegrams. I haven't checked them for a few hours, and they always build up. And I see a voice chat going on Telegram, and I just looked, and I see that there was only one person in the voice chat, but he had a Wriglin. His kind of his ID picture was a Wriglin, and I went, "Oh, I've got to jump into that and just see."
Who was it? I'm curious. That's awesome.
I'll tell you who it was. One of the guys over on Child Support Token.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And I went in, and he was talking about this Pepe DAO that's just gone crazy. I was told about this when it was sitting at, I think, around 10,000 market cap. I think it's shot right up over a matter of a few days, like 180 million. And I dismissed it because I was just too busy. And I'm thinking, why don't I buy these things? like he's made some super rich people, but he just mentioned, I think it got there. He said, I've heard that the Polly behind the Bored Apes actually called it, and that's when it went crazy. So you just mentioning that, and I thought, well, I wonder if that's the same person. It's not a name that I've got any contacts with, but
I believe it's Sanika. Is
that sounds
Asian American
right.
artist?
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. She was Asian American, female. Yeah, that rings a bell. By the way, I see the bacon. I love your profile picture of there's the ultra
right.
rare Robin Hood Wriglin.
Yeah,
Let's
living in the same
go.
set.
That's some fire right there.
Yeah, everyone hates me now. Just so you know.
Yeah, I haven't messaged
You're like,
him
guys.
since. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Andy, you've got your hand up, brother.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to ask Ben, what's your take really on the approach to digital comics and comics as NFTs? Where do you sit on that?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because of what's happened with Comixology, and I haven't done too deep of a dive into why that's going on, but from what I understand, Marvel is pulling in their entire catalog, or not even pulling. From what I understand, Comixology is getting shuttered, right? So, if you owned a digital comic on Comixology, and I say that owned in air quotes, you don't have it anymore. So Marvel is honoring the fact that you bought their comics over on Marvel Unlimited. Now the question is, are you now having to pay for the Marvel Unlimited app in order to get your own comics? Because from what I understand, I mean, there's no like free version of Marvel Unlimited. Marvel Unlimited, I mean, I've gotten a bunch of free versions of it because I always ask my editors, like, hey, can I get another free year of Marvel Unlimited? There's a bunch of books I still need to read, but I think there's to me, like, that's a problem, right? Because as like an owner of comic books and an owner of trades, like we have my comic book Sunday now every other month. It's a gathering of people here in Hollywood that are, into comics and film, and people bring their old, their long boxes to dump out their singles, their floppies, but everybody keeps their collectibles, their trades, their hardcovers, but I think that's a challenge, right? Where it's like you want to own your comic book, you want to own your collection. There are definitely comics that you keep that you go, yeah, that's a rare one, that's a first appearance of, and you want to get them graded. And there's an entire culture around owning your comics, grading them, and the covers, and I think I was saying this in the space earlier today with Josh, talking about our issue number 5 of Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. You own that, right? There's only, I think, 40,000 maybe printed, maybe 50. I don't know. I don't know how many. Marvel usually, and they're not printing 110,000 anymore. But this is the first appearance of Dream Spider. I got to create a brand new Spider-Woman character, and that book sold really well. It sold out. It was impossible to get a cover, or to get that issue, right? So it's very similar to what we're doing, in the sort of in this NFT space, where I'm going, yeah, I'm going to release 1,001 Wriglins, and if you get it, you get it, and that's it, right? Like that's all we've made. And it's very similar, like with issue 5. Well, you get it, and there's absolutely an ownership and collectability to that. And I think that's, I really think we need to be pushing towards NFT comics and digital comics in that way, right? The blockchain as a technology, if you owned your comic on Comixology and it was connected to the blockchain, well, you wouldn't have to worry. You wouldn't have to rely about Marvel, taking your comic and honoring it over on the Marvel Unlimited app. You would just own it, and then you would be able to read it wherever, So I think what we need to do is create more sort of like readers that you can have on your phone or your iPad or Kindle or desktop that ultimately honor, an NFT like a Dark Block or whatever other, whatever backing it, or Soul Type, or however it is. So you can read your NFT books and comics on there. I mean, I think someone who comes to market with that is going to really, really sweep up, because I think we're going to need to start going in that direction, because there is a collectability, and we can know that, why not? Why are we creating a market where it's like, if we can simulate exactly what we do in the print market over in comics, we can create a value system where, yeah, there's the comics that are like, whatever, we'll just call them comics that we put out. But as if I were Marvel, I'd be saying, yeah, we're only going to release, 50,000 of this one book and a digital to create, scarcity for certain ones. Why not? Like this is a special edition, and then we'll have the common one, or something like that. I mean,
Yeah,
I think there's some really interesting opportunities there.
the scarcity thing is is one thing that people don't recognize with digital, and that's where blockchain is providing that facility, because usually people see digital as not as valuable,
Right.
but that's why I see the NFT space is changing that potential, where the scarcity vibe mirrors not the same quality but the same sort of attributes as what a physical comic does, in the sense that the ownership part of it. So yeah, I'm bullish on digital, but also the opportunity that the digital platform provides to non-linear storytelling, or sequential storytelling in itself, because you've got a technology integration with image and words that you can mix up a bit. You don't need to stick to a panel by panel if you have a format or a platform that you can manipulate over time based, so you can animate stuff in and out with different formats and stuff. So I'm really interested in seeing where that innovation is going to evolve, knowing that you can enhance the story through the digital medium. So I think very bullish on the playfulness of how you can reimagine what you can do and how you can tell the stories through the digital, as well as it simply being a PDF or a webtoon or big audiences like that. So there's super scope for it, and I'm on board with that.
Well, I think it kind of pushes the idea of transmedia. I mean, we were talking about this the other day, and what does transmedia really mean? It means the ability to kind of break down those verticals and allow for people to have a more unified experience across multiple platforms, whether it's audio, video, animation, the animation side of it being video, still images. And I think, to me, like what would be really incredible, right, is where I think the big thing for me in this Wriglin project is that if we have 1,001 collectibles, well, there's only 1,001 people, if every single one person got one, that can be a part of the community. Well, I mean, obviously a lot of people are going to get multiples. I got multiples, of my own book, but the cool thing about that is that you release scarcity and you build community around that scarcity and connect it directly to authorship and fandom. That's where the power of digital comics and collectibles can be. You can make the one that's like, who cares? You can mint unlimited. Doesn't matter. But that one doesn't get you access to the community. It doesn't get you access to the author. It doesn't get you access to, the value system that some people really want to get, where, for the most part, you have to come to LA to be able to network with people, or go to a meeting with a studio or whatever, where it's like, no, it's like if we know that we've got a very curated community and the only way in is through having that NFT, well, wouldn't it be cool if you bought, Jason Aaron's Marvel Ghost Rider NFT, and it gave you access to his community that he has, through the Marvel Unlimited app? I mean, that would make me go, well, shit, it's worth me getting the Marvel Unlimited app, because if I buy, Jason's one of 1,000, comics, and that's his, collection of Ghost Riders or whatever it is, whatever that thing is, it's almost like a subscription, but you spend a certain amount of money on it, I mean, that to me, there's a real power there in the fandom side of things, so
there's a massive value in that. I agree. You go, people who are into comics, they read the comics, they appreciate the art, they want that added extra, they want that value added piece of connection to the artist, one of one, blank covers where the artist can illustrate when they come to a convention and stuff. So those things are super important, because people want the one of ones, they want the rarity, they want that added value from just the story of the lore. I've been listening to a lot of Cartoonist Kayfabe with Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg, and their interviews with Kevin and Peter the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is so insightful. That behind the scenes piece is something that Marvel should really be looking to embrace and tap into. Access to the artists, that community based vibe. It goes beyond the book itself. It's a whole community piece. So that excites me, and that's where blockchain can really help embrace that.
100%. 100%. I mean, look, that's what for me, Wriglin is an experiment that I'm looking to do, and and I'm hoping that through my sort of whatever you want to call it, leadership, working here in the entertainment business, I hope that I can turn some minds to it and show how it can work. And I don't think anyone's really done it in this same sort of way. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I know that I'm just like, this is what I'm doing. This is how we're doing it, and we're going to figure it out. And it's an interesting and exciting time. So I just looked down at my phone and I see Nathan's got his hand up. I'm sorry, I've been walking my dog and she's just like,
I was just waiting for
like
you guys to finish that little segment, because obviously it's important.
Yeah.
But yeah, if everyone could just retweet the room as well, if you wouldn't mind, just while Nathan asks his question, that'd be awesome. Sorry to have you waiting so long, Nathan. Fire away, brother. Thank you.
I'm happy to wait. You never have to worry about me. I'll just sit here and listen and chill. And all I was going to say is kind of listen to Ben and Hangry Animals. My personal opinion is I think there's huge aspects missing from this whole collectability scene. I personally think Ben, with what he's done with Wriglin, is way ahead of the time. I mean, my mind, and I see this all the time, but my mind works completely differently to other people's. I couldn't do what Ben does, or what Hangry Animals do, or a developer does. My brain works in a specific way, and it's the only way it works. But it seems to work for me and what I do. But I think there needs to be that. Yeah, I mean, with what Ben's doing, this is a really exclusive thing, which I love. But I also feel that there needs to be that physical exclusivity also, which I think is something that Hangry Animals kind of touched on. It is that connect with the artist themselves, with the writer, with the actual person. I mean, kind of, Ben only asked me to kind of get involved and help out, what, I think 2 weeks ago-ish?
Yeah, it was like, about 2.5 weeks ago. I think I was like, hey, it was a very short time. So you've done an incredible job in a short time connecting with the right folks.
What I would be definitely doing is, if I was involved in the planning and stuff, I'd be saying, look, let's go one step further than this. Let's open this up. Let's actually just print not the book, but let's print the script and get them signed. Sign the script. Sign 1,001 scripts. Just print them out on standard paper from Ben. Even number them, 1 of whatever, 2 of whatever. And then send that. People, you just have a claim function. People can claim it. I mean, it's something you could possibly even do, even now, and say, look, for $20 or for one extra Solana, you can, if you hold an original Wriglin, 1 of the 1,001, you could get the actual script signed by. That then gives that actual initial original raw script a value, not only in Web3 but externally. Keep the NFT, sell the script, keep them both together, do whatever you want. But that's something that allows people not only digitally but physically to feel in touch with you, as it's like you signing your Spider-Man comics.
Right. I mean, the thing I would say though, it's a 200-page book, and to have to do shipping and handling and printing, and I would say I would be happy to sign a printed version of your cover. We could do. I think that's the better way to do it, though, right? Like in
Yeah.
this case, where you own your, let's just say the bacon, right? So bacon, you've got your one of one, that cover, one of whatever, that version of it, and that you then have me, like we print it out on high nice like nice card stock or whatever. It's signed, and you get a copy of that for, like you said, maybe it's an extra Solana because you own the thing. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some really interesting things, on the physical side, 100%.
If I could ask Bacon, knowing that he's bought one of these, just ask a question, and for an honest answer, Bacon, let's call this market research. I know what my answer would be, but you specifically, if you had the option now to actually receive a raw script signed by Ben, and it cost you another, I don't know, 2 Solana, would that be something you would want to buy? Or would that be something you'd go, well, no, I've got the NFT? Or would you want to own that, what you have in book version, but as a script signed by Ben, and it costs you, let's say, another 2 Solana?
I would say probably not, just purely because I'm a cheapskate. I am very reluctant to part with my monies. So if the price was right, then I would certainly consider it.
Bought the NFT.
Can I jump in there? Because I'm Christian from the Stray Dogs Club. Yeah.
Hello, Christian from the Stray Dogs Club.
I just want to jump in there, right, and say I'd buy it actually, but the idea of them signing the cover. That was my idea in my head that I wanted to propose to him anyway, but he's already thought of it, so there's no point in proposing it now. But but that was my sort of like what I wanted to bring to the table. Sign the cover, and then that'd be wicked. I'd love that. And I got a comment. But I actually love the comment because it's got wriggling on it.
Nice.
So, and that's what's going to be recognised the most.
Yeah, because you can have it signed, couldn't you?
Comment.
And you could also like take a picture and then have the picture as like another NFT as well. Because that's what I like about the Pan Pals NFT project, is that you get the digital NFT card, but you also get the physical version as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so, yeah.
Exactly. Something like that adds so much value.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I mean, the cover to me makes so much sense, where you could, be like you said, like it's an extra 2 Sol, which also, I mean, you have to remember the shipping and handling costs around the world. But if it's only a cover, it's a lot cheaper, right? You can send it via FedEx or whatever, where it's not going to cost you, $20 for shipping and handling. It's a full, 200-page book. And it's, each one would have to be specially printed, right? So I 100% think that's a great idea. There's the other version, and this, Nathan, I think could be an interesting one, right? Where if you were to burn your NFT cover, then you get the physical book too. We've been talking about this on another side, right?
Crazy.
Where it's like, and you burn it, and then you get a signed cover of the book with that NFT, your wallet address, all that shit. And we've been talking about that, on the physical side with Sideshow and Collectibles, talking about the burn version. And I think there's something really exciting and interesting there, right? Where it's like, okay, you own this. Now you burn that NFT. Now there's only 1,000 in the collection, right? If everybody starts burning them, then whoa, the collection keeps getting smaller. And now they're physical books. You're the only one who has that physical book with that cover.
What if someone burns the key to the universe?
Well, everything ends. The world will collapse and end as you know it.
Yeah, then we're trapped in a closed loop system then, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, to me, like, those are interesting things. And again, this is an open, like this, that's what I love about this, because, once the collection sells out, then I want to start going, well, what are some really interesting things we can do to keep, building and adding value for all of us in that sort of way from a collector standpoint, and if there is a burn opportunity and we say, hey, look, you burn it and you send us, shipping and handling costs, we'll print the whole book. Or, there are places that do the print on demand, but I don't know. I mean, I'm open to a lot of ideas. For me, this project is very much an experiment, and I want to look at it in a way where, we can hopefully, sort of show people the way that are not so used to this sort of new idea, and sort of bring traditional media folk into this and say, you don't even know what we can do here. Like the opportunities, like there's so many opportunities. And there's something interesting about Solana, and I know we haven't really touched on this or talked about it. And I've been talking, I was put in touch with the Solana actual organization, this gentleman over there who's in the business development side. And they really love the project. Obviously, with Solana, they can't market it. It's not what they do. It's kind of against their rules, but they can introduce, me as a creative into the Solana network and the ecosystem and say, hey, this is, B. Earl, who's launched this project on the Solana network. But what's also cool about Solana, and I was talking to somebody about this on LinkedIn, and talking about Solana has an incredible gaming component because of the speed and because of the low, the low carbon imprint and the very eco-friendly, blockchain. And people shouldn't count Solana out. I know that there's a lot of folks that are kind of but it's a chain that works. And who knows? Like, there is so much opportunity that great projects could be built on it. And I look at it like this: like, if there's not a lot of bigger names and bigger projects happening on Solana, and I'm able to, help pop this project over there and show the potential of how we can cross-pollinate and start building, some interesting opportunities in transmedia with this project in particular. I mean, there's to me, like, you go where there's not a lot of noise. And if you can be the one person that people look at and go, yeah, all right, you know what you're talking about. You got something that's real and of value, and we're interested, that to me, that's why I'm excited that, yeah, maybe we're in a bear market. Maybe NFT trading is down, but at the same time, this is a great time to start bringing out great projects with people that really, have a vision for what they can be done. So, I mean, I'm excited.
Tricky's got his hand up.
Yeah, Tricky.
Yeah, it's not a bear market. It's a build market. We're just building. This is the perfect time.
Go ahead, Tricky.
I absolutely love the idea.
I can't hear him. Can everyone else hear him?
Yeah, I hear Tricky.
Okay,
No,
cool.
I don't hear him.
Oh, I'm here. You don't hear me bacon? No.
I hear you.
Well, I absolutely love the idea of having, being able to burn your NFT to take a physical product. I'm going to do that myself with plushies, but to do that with your book would be really cool. And also, just back to what Crypto Magazine was saying, Nathan mentioned, maybe bacon might be too cheap for 2 Sol on that cover signed, but if you had that cover signed and you could provide that as an NFT and in real life, I would pay 2 Sol. I'd buy that off of bacon. Yeah. Absolutely. That'd be a great way to kind of like capitalize on your one of ones, right? If you have a one of one, you could get it a signed copy and make it into a signed NFT. So that, yeah, there's lots of potential with this technology. It's definitely good to explore all your options. And yeah, I would definitely love or maybe even if you got a one of one, if you got your book in like some kind of a sealed container, kind of keep it mint condition or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot
of collectibleness.
100%. I mean, there's definitely a lot of different ways. I do have to jump, guys. I got to figure some stuff out. It's a Saturday, and I told a friend I was going to be going down to the beach, and she was just calling me, and I was like, oh shit, it's 2:00 here in California. But I would, I really, really appreciate this time, guys, and obviously, you know where to find me. Thy Revolution, Mickey, and Nathan, and I'll definitely jump in more of these in the next week or so, and just keep chatting and keep talking about it. But I love these ideas. I mean, how we can really look at the potential of what this can be, and that's my goal. Like, once it sells out, I really would love to start exploring do we burn them, and talk to the community, talk to the people in the mix and say, how do we explore this? What can we do? What can we do with this project in particular? And that to me is really exciting. So, I'm not making.
I have millions of ideas around that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, you're part of the community. Let's do it. We're in the Discord. It's over there on Soul Type. And I think there's a lot of really cool opportunity to explore this and see what we can do. And like I said, the more that I can build this profile up with the project, get it, out there with Solana in particular, talk to my relationships here, my folks that I work with at Marvel, at DC, at Sideshow, this is my chance to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And, it's my skin in the game, and I have a really great opportunity to explore a lot of cool shit. So, that to me is really exciting. So, hopefully we can change some hearts and minds here with the project.
Absolutely. And, but despite what you said earlier, you're very well spoken. You're a natural marketer.
Well, thank you.
You in all these spaces, and I love stopping in and hearing you talk. Definitely very bullish on you and the project in general. So yeah, just keep it up, stay positive.
Always
love having you in the community. So
I
congratulations on the launch. Let's go.
Thank you. Let's go. It's a build market. All right, guys. Well, you enjoy your Saturday evening for all you folks over in the UK. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, That Revolution and Bacon and Tricky. All you guys. Hangry. So great to meet Andrew. I'll be out and about and around, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, take it easy, buddy. Thank you for stopping by and wearing that plus flag high. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, love that.
Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Bye,
Cheers.
Ben.
Bye.
Take it easy, buddy. And there you have it, folks. Ben Earl, Marvel writer with his own NFT project, Wriggling. What an amazing guy, and what an incredible story he's had as well. And it's awesome to watch him integrate all that experience and all these connections into the Web3 world.
Yeah, I think there's so much cool stuff he can do with that project.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a great addition.
Yeah, I can't hear Tricky, so I'm probably constantly over talking him.
Yeah, and none of us can really hear Tricky at the best of times, so we all do it. Sorry, Tricky. You got Bacon pretending that he can't hear you just so we can speak over you. No, but
I pretended I couldn't hear you either, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah, Hungry Animals Andy. So after speaking to Ben about his perspective on things, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. I think it's really interesting to hear where Ben's taking stuff, especially coming from traditional comic media base. We're in a really interesting time in terms of it's still storytelling, right? You're still looking at ways to entertain people, and when you bridge new forms of technology and innovation, especially around community gated content, or I don't see it as gated content as such. I see it as a new way to provide value, and the NFT or the gated aspect is a way to, allow that individual to feel like they are part of something bigger than just themselves. And that's why Community of Communities is there to support these kind of initiatives,
Yeah.
And I think the way Ben was looking at it is you have a traditional comic, the ability to burn the digital ones and then redeem a physical one.
Yeah.
He's seen Nike doing it early doors, There was Nike thinking about it, or the socks. Do you remember the socks project? That was a crazy socks project where...
What, the Unisocks?
Yeah, and then if you minted...
Unisocks was crazy.
Yeah, it's mad. If you minted them and then burned them, you could redeem the physical ones, right? And then that creates scarcity within the digital ones, but it also creates scarcity in the physical ones as well. So there
was a massive airdrop for them guys as well. They received a massive airdrop, the Unisocks guys. Yeah, I missed that.
But those kind of concepts, those kind of principles where you bridge the physical and digital, I think that's the perfect sweet spot, right? Because people still want physical stuff, but they love this new gimmicky world of the infancy of NFTs and what it means. So I think embracing both is the right way to go about it. Because even for us, we're thinking merch, RFID merch, physical comics, but there are hidden avenues within the comics to bridge into the digital world and explore treasure hunts and stuff like that. So playing with the medium, man, and what it means to tell a story in a choose your own adventure style game. So it opens up the world of what comics have done for centuries, for many decades. And I love I love the approach, and it's great to have people of his caliber enter the space and go, okay, let's mix it up. Let's try something. Let's explore. Let's experiment. Let's really play with the medium and see what resonates.
It's not like there's much of a third party here. It's like he's got total ownership of this project. And he can do anything that he wants to essentially with this project. And I think that's quite. He sees the liberation in that, I think that a lot of other artists will see the same.
Yeah. 100%, man. It's like he was talking about Image Comics, right? And Image Comics is a fantastic initiative, and the way it was set up, a business set up to make artists and help artists retain their IP ownership and the ownership of their creations for themselves. Image take a cut to help publish and help promote it and get it out there. This is the next step in the evolution of that. Creator-owned content, creator-owned storytelling. So great, yeah, Ben. If you're listening back to this, I really applaud what you're trying to do and looking towards these communities to help push and promote and be behind you. Creators need that support. They need a network of people around them to help raise the bar and push the boundaries of this tech. And, that's awesome in all of our eyes. We're here to absorb and be the sponges of that kind of content, as well as help promote and create it ourselves. So it's a fantastic playground, and I'm in here for the long haul. It's not a flash in the pan kind of thing for me. And we're all learning as well. We're still learning. Every day is a school day in this kind of space. Whether you're into coins, tokens, or NFTs, or NFT comics, music NFTs, it's just such a cool space right now. Anything goes.
Yeah, and it's good that you said that as well, because it's almost like the comic era was back in the day. Comics were for kids, but then it's almost like that generation just sort of grew with the comics, and the younger generation is sort of faded away from it, from the digital era. So to have the opportunity to create digital assets that the younger generations may grow to enjoy, and then also implement the comic aspect of it, it almost brings that rarity back to the comics again, giving them almost like a new lease of life, and almost bringing out the history of where everything originated from, which I just think is a brilliant way to bring both generations hand in hand.
Oh, totally, man. You can tell that there was a dip, and there was a sort of the decimation of that world in the 90s, where Marvel almost went bankrupt and stuff, and then born out of that is so much creative, creator-owned, independent comic drive, where the style wasn't restricted, the storytelling and the writing wasn't curated or editorialized by the owners of these big entities, Marvel, DC, and stuff. So that independent, creator-owned comic adventure, where they had an idea in their head, but their sort of story narrative was suppressed because of the characters around Marvel and the characters around DC. But now, the accolades of these kind of writers and artists is just an explosion of interest. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm just experimenting with story and characters, and seeing what resonates. Picking up and getting the community to get involved in creating those characters, because then they have a sense of ownership. They have a sense of want to see those characters succeed, or see where their stories and what they've contributed to, see how that can evolve, and you've got ambassadors for life in that way. So it's the same thing with the originators of comics. You had the little fan letters at the back of the comic saying, "Oh, I didn't like the way you did this character in this issue, and what if we did it this way in the future?" That existed back then, but now you have Discords. You have Discord channels for communities, and they can give you that instant feedback while you're creating these storylines and adventures for the project characters. So, just super excited on what we're doing in the space right now.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, but that's what it's about, and it's about keeping that energy going, and sharing that energy, and everyone getting to enjoy every aspect of it, because your project is very, very, very community driven, and I love that about your project. And it's exciting because even you don't know fully what direction it's going to go down, which just adds to that. You know.
I was in the Discord earlier, and one of the community was like, "My kids really love your sketch work and your illustrations. You know, you've got some really cool stuff you're doing." And then the second question was, "Oh, by the way, you know those characters that I suggested the other week? How are they coming along?" And it's like, that's what I want. I want that input from the community. I want the ability to sort of, for them to suggest a plot line or a suggestion of what the character's personality or background is, or even what animal they want it to be. And we've started creating like these mini eight page little stories about two sharks, and the kids came up with those characters, and I've helped illustrate them and shared them back and forth. So we've had this like two-way feedback for characters that we've developed from within the community, and they are young kids being steered by their guardian. And I just absolutely love that, the fact that it's not all from my imagination. It's not all purely my penmanship in terms of a storyline. It is being built and created by the community along with us. For me, that is the sweet spot. You know, you grow together.
Yeah, and that's a really brilliant way to do things, and it's awesome that you're getting that reaction, because you know you put a lot of time into your project and building the community to get to a point where people are interacting in that way, and it's awesome that people's kids are interacting with it in that way, because it just shows that it's getting the exact reaction that you want, where people feel so a part of it that they're introducing it to the family and the children, which is just probably an amazing thing to hear as an artist.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, we've got a merch store, and I was able to do an illustration and get it approved by the community member who was helping us draw a character, and then I was able to finish that illustration, upload it onto the print site, and then it was ready and available as a piece of merch on our website within a matter of hours. So you have this instant gratification, this instant feedback for the community member to then go and purchase a t-shirt or a hoodie with their character that we've illustrated, that we co-created. And, two of them have gone out in the world already. So yeah, this is a cyclical creative loop. And it's why I want to do it this way, and not come up with everything up front and then you're just waiting for the reaction or the feedback. This way is much better. You're growing and you're getting that feedback as you create. And that's why I love the Discord approach, really, is you can share sketches and what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What name should we call this character? What storyline does this character start with? And it's starting to evolve into a really nice feedback loop. So, and I appreciate all the community's input on that front. But it's early days,
Yeah, that's definitely the view of someone that's in it long term, when you've been in the space building for like a year and a half and you're like, yeah, it's early days.
Yeah.
But yeah,
as my beard grows like Gandalf. And
yeah. Now I remember when I first saw you in the Discord, and you was drawing and talking to the community, and it didn't matter if you had one person listening or 20, you was just the same. And I always thought then that it was you being in the center of all of this that was going to make it what it was, just with the way that your outlook of it was, and the way that you enjoyed engaging with people and getting people involved in the development of everything you were building. So no, hats off to you. I think you've definitely taken the right approach.
Cheers, dude. No, you mean those Twitch sessions where it was just me and my drum and bass. I take those sessions to a sense of pride in going, yeah, you stuck with it. You recorded some cool stuff, and there was a massive learning curve as well. The space was evolving, the space was spiking, and you're just like, what do we launch? Do we just carry on? And I was just, you've got to believe in yourself, really. You've got to believe in the way you want to do it, and don't be influenced or listen to any sort of hype. The project is ready when you think it's ready, and hence, like I said before, we're taking our time and really making sure that we've got good product and good value in place before we we push the button.
It's also difficult to sort of manage expectations whilst also being able to deliver what you want to deliver.
Totally, man. And we've been sort of guilty of that in the past. Where I get really excited, I get hyped, and then I'm spilling the beans in terms of some special one-of-ones and stuff that I really want to share with the community, because that's me. That's an artist. I want that gratification of seeing the joy on people's faces of going, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" But just biding our time and listening to my heart and my head at the same time has been really hard. But yeah, under promise, over deliver is the new norm.
Sorry to stop you there, Hank. Do you mind if I really didn't want to be rude. I had a meeting 2 minutes ago, and I didn't want to be that guy that just disappears. So I kind of just wanted to say thank you ever so much for tonight, and it's been great listening to you, Hangry, and Rev, and everything else. I apologise for interrupting. I just didn't want to be that guy that just disappears, and everyone goes, "Oh, where's he gone?"
No, that's how we operate. We all know we're busy. Like, that's how we do things. We call it yoink. We just when someone leaves, we know they're busy. We know they care about us still, but they've just got places to be.
That's it. I just wanted to say good night and
good night, Nathan.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much.
We would always blame Elon first, anyway.
Well, of course, that's the only way it should be, and then CZ a very close second.
Nice, indeed.
Yeah, cheers, Nathan. Thank you,
guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep, bye-bye.
Mickey, I've got to bounce as well over the side. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I knew you were busy anyway, so obviously when you came, I wanted to get you straight in because I know you've got a lot going on.
Cool.
Thanks for coming, Andy.
I appreciate it, guys.
Can't wait to work with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, we need to hook up, don't we? We need to hook up. Let's get
I've been hanging around waiting for this for ages.
Under promise, over deliver. Happy to have you in the community, Hanger.
Totally, man. That's me. I'm in the middle of being assessed for ADHD as well, so take that to heart. Take that in mind.
Yeah. Well, we've got to use everything we can in our favour, haven't we? And utilise things like that, because it can be used against us if we don't. So if we can put that to good use, then
absolutely, lateral thinker.
Exactly.
It's helped me for 22 years, so I'm going to stick to those principles.
Yeah. I'm an overthinker, so I try and overthink about the right things. But yeah, if you've got to go out, Andy, thank you for joining and appreciate your insight on your expertise and you from an artistic and perspective of the industry. So it's really appreciated.
Yeah, great input.
Let's get that book conversation going in the week. Let's get a chat going on. Excited about that. Let's do it. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll catch you soon.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
Now's a great time to pick up that Polygon to get in the book, man. It's nice and low right now. Grab yourself 150 and let's go. I know I scooped up some. Ready to get my spot in the book.
Let's do it.
Yes, so.
Yeah, definitely on the point of the book. I'd love to speak about it a little bit for anyone that's not heard much about it. So we're doing.
I would like to hear about the book actually.
Yeah, nice. So it is an NFT collaborative community NFT book. So there will be a potential of 100 pages maximum. Each page is 150 polygon. The book is to help bring communities together and projects together to focus on one project, which basically highlights everybody. We're going to work as a team to really put this book out there to the world. There is going to be a physical version that will be sold on Amazon. There is going to be a digital version as well. We are also going to put this book global around the world in a multitude of ways through our connections and partners, which we're excited about. If anyone is interested in getting into the book, I've got something pinned at the top, but you can click on my profile and you can get all the information you need, so you can read up on what it entails to get into the book, what getting the book looks like. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask anyone with a plus to point you in the right direction, and those guys will help you as well. So yeah, it's an exciting community project, and collaboration is the way forward in Web3, and we understand that to its fullest. And some of the people that will be helping us put this book together are people with decades of experience, with global reach, and amazing skill sets. So we're really excited, and we've tried to make the barrier to entry as low as humanly possible. We are going to do a series of 10 books, but each book will be an extra 150 polygon a page as the series go on from 1 to 10. So getting into the first book is your best opportunity to get it at its lowest price. So it is one of those cases of where if you can get in the first book, you can get it for the cheapest price. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, do ask any of us, and we can give you all the information that you need.
I have a question.
Fire away.
So I'm ready to get my spot in the book. I've got some NFTs I want to like display and a basic story. What do I need to do in order to, like, do I need to design the page, or will somebody kind of design that page for me?
Yeah, well, it can be one of both ways. Yeah, we can design that page for you with the artists that we've got working with us, or you can design your own page, send it to us, and we can take a look at it and make sure that it's clean, it's not got anything in it that can, because you can put QR codes and images, and also make sure that the book is a book that children can read and it's not got anything explicit in it or anything that's going to highlight, sex or drug use or anything along those lines. So yeah, both can be done, and we can work that between people that want to get in the book and the team.
Nice. All right. Cool. I'm ready. I need to send over the Matic. We need to design my page, and if we can design some pages for the early adopters, we can send them to the Florence Biennale.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna.
Amanda will kind of give some props to Web3 and introduce all these collectors of physical art to Web3. So that's going to be an awesome little opportunity just to have the book have some more exposure, and if you're early, people will have that information.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're going to be working with the artist on putting some pages together so that people can see what the book is going to look like, and if we can get that ready in time, then we can ping that over to Amanda and have her showcase that over there, which would be amazing. No, thank you, Tricky. That'd be epic.
Yeah, and it's a maximum of 2 pages.
Yeah. So sorry, thank you for that. Yeah, so each project can only purchase 2 pages per wallet, just to make it fair for getting as many projects in as possible, because obviously the point is that it's a collaborative effort and that we want to try and leave room for many projects to get involved, because the amount of projects that are in our community of communities, we want to try and help as many projects get that exposure. And you imagine if, say, it was 100 projects that did get into the book, that's a lot of communities working together on one project that really highlights everybody, and that on its own would have a massive effect. And that's just one of many benefits of utilising this project, as well as the connections that we've got and the places that we're going to put this book as well. It's definitely going to hit the global stage, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think once people see the exposure that they get, they're going to realize 150 Matic is really a steal. That's covering our cost and just giving us the opportunity to start the project. Even at generation 10, we're going to be able to provide value. So
yeah, I mean, you couldn't even find
150 Matic is nothing.
No, you couldn't even find a content creator with 10,000 followers on TikTok that would accept $150 to make one video. So to get, to pay, give or take $150 to have a potential of 100 different communities talking about a product that you're involved with, and a team of 12 working with a global magazine and entities that are connected all around the world in showcasing this is, an absolute steal, in my opinion. We've got art.
Can't even pay a week for that.
Say that again, sorry.
So, yeah, you can't even pay a moderator in your Discord for that amount of money in a week.
That's it. So we tried to make the barrier of entry as low as possible for the first book, and really try and get projects with little funds to get involved first, and then obviously as the momentum picks up, that more projects and bigger projects will see and want to get on board with it. Once they see the exposure the first book gets, there's people that are certainly going to get are going to want to get in the second, third, and fourth book. And
can I buy
serious FOMO? FOMO.
Can I buy slots for the second, third, and fourth book and sell them on the secondary market for more?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but you can purchase a page in every single book from 1 to 10. There is a package we have put together where if someone wants to purchase a page in every single book, then that is a possibility as well. And like I said, once people look at the exposure we've got and, just take a bit of a deeper dive into our partnerships and connections and see where we're going to take this book, that, that may even be something that people will consider if they can afford to do that.
Right. Charismatic content creators and spaces 24/7, just talking about the community. That's got value.
Absolutely.
What up, Mark?
Hey, how we doing, Brad?
Mickey, I'm just, I'm out on a smoke break real quick. I'm having some dinner with some friends and my fiance,
Nice.
but I saw you guys were on. So can you explain a little bit about the books and what this is, just because I missed it?
Yes, sure. So
Yeah, you missed it. Sorry.
Yeah, so, well, I'll try and be quick. I don't know how fast you smoke, but basically there is an NFT book. There is a physical version which will be sold on Amazon. There is a digital version which will obviously be sold digitally. There is a potential of 100 pages, a maximum of 2 pages per project. Each page is 150 polygon. We are going to, there's a series of 10 books. Once all 10 books have been sold, that we will be doing further things with that, such as putting a cartoon together, potentially putting this into a metaverse as well with the characters in the NFT book. We are going to list it on Amazon. We are going to work with our partners to get it put around the world. We're going to utilize the crypto magazine, which are sold in 21 countries if you include airports, and some of the biggest luxury resorts and leisure resorts around the world. And it's a way that we can try and get projects to work together on one project to get the maximum exposure to start with $150.
So 100 projects total per book maximum is what you're saying?
Yeah, so there's 100 pages, and each project can purchase 2 pages. So,
Oh, so 50. Yeah. You had said 200 pages.
No, it would only be 100 pages. So if every project purchased one
50
page.
people per... And through crypto, what's Crypto Magazine going to be involved with?
Yeah, because we're going to put this book into the magazine so that people around the world will know that this book exists and that it can be purchased on Amazon, so that it gets more exposure globally.
If anybody is doing this, I'd suggest saving a quarter of your page, of one of your pages, to be able to do a QR code to directly link a funnel into your program and what you're doing.
Yeah, we're already on that.
Yeah,
of course we'll do that. I mean, that'd be silly not to. We'll probably give ourselves a full page in order to do that.
Yeah, definitely. No, but well said though, Brad. Thank you for having that in mind and letting us know. But yeah, we've got all of those things structured, talked about, covered, and ready to rock and roll. So we're now at the point of just putting it out there to projects in our spaces. We're trying to just put it out to the projects that we know, the smaller projects that we've been working with, and then obviously we're eventually going to ramp up really putting it out there. But we just wanted to try and give the smaller projects a chance to know about it and have the opportunity to get involved with the book before we start really working together to really put this out there. Hey, Meta Builders, welcome to the stage.
Before that first one goes out, I'm definitely interested.
That's awesome.
And I have some money put away inside of XCH. I can switch over to Poly. But yeah, I'd love to talk more about that. And I'd love to try to get a spotlight for Project Pencil Power. She's been having a really tough time getting a schoolhouse, so I'd really like to be able to help her out and get that going.
Oh, that's amazing, Brad. That's great.
Yeah, you could each get a page or do a combined page and have like a little section shout out for her. Like, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, have a chat with us and we'll see what we can do to to help with that. And maybe that could be something you could put out to a couple of communities and see if anyone wants to contribute towards you doing that to help them. And maybe we can get you some assistance with that.
Yeah, like an outreach or something.
Yeah.
To come together and buy a page for Metascarab.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to try to help them out. I know things are not,
Yeah.
Our good days are our shitty days are a good day for them. So it often reminds me when I'm having a bad day that there's a cause out there that even this day is good for them. So to kind of appreciate what I have and continue to push forward. But glad you're having this space. Glad you're able to provide this resource out to the community. It sounds like a very price point efficient model, and I like the partnerships and like what you're pushing forward. So I'm definitely interested, and I'd love to talk more. And let's get some others involved. Try to get some money raised for Doglands and other charity programs that are out here trying to make a difference.
Yeah, thank you, bro. And that's exactly the point. We're trying to do as much as we can for as little as we can, but also making it where we can actually achieve it as well. Because obviously, if we can't be sustainable in doing this, then we can't do this at all. So that's the whole purpose behind trying to make each book sort of rise gradually in value, but also try and help the people get the reach that they just can't get on their own. And working together as a team, we can hopefully make that happen. Meta Builders, you got your hand up, brother?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to kind of mention too that it seems as if, as this progresses, that it gets more and more costly, but there's also the benefit of having a community collaboration like this allows for these higher quality projects, or not even say higher quality projects, but projects who have more experience and resources and skills to be able to create high quality animations, like for example, the STP Owls and the Hangry Animals projects that are going to be in the book. There's history there and proof that they can make successful animations and get into, mainstream. And so essentially, we're trying to provide not only opportunities for projects like that to collaborate with projects that don't have experience in the industry, but for, it begins with a little barrier to entry. And as it progresses, if there are projects who can't necessarily afford to get into the 10th page and they just showed up, we're providing incentivized opportunities for people to earn their way into the book through selling pages of the book for us and helping us sell products through Meta Builders, which is part of the community of communities. And we're a full service Web3 service business. We built decentralized infrastructure for the Web3 service industry so that we can empower some of these NFT creators that want to remain anonymous because their safety, relies on their anonymity. And so we built that decentralized infrastructure for that, and through that mechanism is where we would like to, reward people and have a way to earn into that book as well as build their Web3 resumes. But that's basically all.
Yeah, no, and that's perfectly put as well, because there will be projects that have had more volume and bigger reach and bigger communities, but like you said, the way that Meta Builders utilizes the NFT technology in the first place is very different to just a PFP project. And if you just dive deeper into their ecosystem, there is so many ways in which you can do what Mike just said and earn incentives and work with communities to benefit on a financial level as well, which is an amazing attribute that Meta Builders has. And we're fortunate enough to work alongside these guys and learn from them, and them knowing where the industry came from, because they played a big part in building it, helps us see where the industry is going and how we can help people with that process from start to finish with their expertise and experience.
Mickey, just an idea. I got to go back in real quick, but maybe you can do like a donation of, like, you pay your $150 for those 2 pages, but if you want to pay like $175, it goes towards paying for like somebody who can't afford one. And then you do a community of communities grant. I got to go back in, buddy. But just think on that. We'll talk more.
Yeah, sweet. Enjoy your evening, Brad. Thank you for jumping in your break.
Yeah, I wonder if because I guess I could just go get one of the NFTs myself. But if you can transfer these NFTs, and there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to scoop up. I think we have it capped at 5 pages per wallet, so we could scoop up 5, few pages and then gift them. I don't see why that's not a possibility.
Yeah, definitely. That maybe people could also donate if people do sell pages, instead of receiving the benefit from doing that, they could put that into a wallet that pays for people to get in the book that can't, and that can be their way of helping donate, is by helping get the reach of this book out there, and using that little bit that they would benefit from that and putting it towards helping good causes get in the book.
Right, because it's not a matter of just creating an NFT project and selling some stuff to make some money, right? We're trying to build a long-term community, and collaborating on these efforts will empower us as individuals to learn how to collaborate in global efforts like this. And this is just happens to be a fun, monetizable way to prove the concept of global collaboration efforts, and through NFT technology and creativity, this is going to help propel the creator economy in a specific direction that benefits mankind long term, rather than perpetuate the same toxic structure that exists now, where CEOs are getting filthy rich by forcing people to not collaborate and work separately. This is the anti-establishment form of global collaboration and monetizing what your skills are and your interests are over slave wage.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's about helping making the people that put the effort in benefit, because that's the exact goal we're going for, and helping projects and people that are doing good causes learn ways in which they can benefit financially and build up from zero. That's going to be much more beneficial to them than just going, oh, there you go, you can have that. Because there's lots of people involved in this, and for example, we have a core team of 12 people working day and night, 7 days a week, all around the world, doing what we do to help have a platform like this and have the network that we've got, and and connect and work with people such as meta builders to create these outcomes and help make these things possible in the first place. So that is a very powerful thing about one of the things we love about meta builders, is that exact ecosystem that is anti-establishment. It's not one person at the top benefiting, it's everyone that's working inside of the ecosystem that is benefiting for the efforts that they put in, which I just think is absolutely genius, and surprising as to why that infrastructure isn't something that's what's being used in the actual financial system, but amazing that you've built that infrastructure for people to use now.
Well, it's like I don't know, building the roads before cars existed. You know what I mean? Like, you can't convince people to use a road when their horses' hooves are getting damaged on the road. It doesn't compute. So what we've done is we built a business of the future, and now what we're having to do is educate people about what the future looks like. And it's like, if I've through studies, I've learned things like that's a great way to start a fucking sentence, by the way. Through studies, I've learned things. I'm trying to grab the idea that I have here in my head. But anyways,
I get what you're saying, because what you've built is for the future, and you've spent a lot of time really trying to onboard people and help people see what is unfolding behind the scenes, and even at the moment, right before people's very eyes, and people don't know what to do with that. But what you've built is ready for the future, but people need to learn how to utilize it to best benefit from it.
Right, and the idea I was having is that people learn better through play, and if you're going to be engaging in play, you're going to be able to understand the process more in depth. So, for example, One Game Network is here, one of our partners. Welcome, thanks for coming. But that's what they do, is they essentially create a monetization layer for Web2 games, basically obfuscating the massive amount of dev work that would be necessary to build it from the ground up. So if you take your regular Web 2 games like Call of Duty or whatever, they can add a money layer to that where you can integrate with the blockchain and utilize those tokens that you're getting in these video games for real world purposes. And that's the whole point, right? We're trying to have fun. We're not trying to teach people about the transition of a new technology. We don't care that if anyone uses the word NFT or crypto. We just know it's better technology and we want people to use it. And if we can create fun, engaging environments and experiences that people can easily integrate into their lives, then we can transition into Web3 and no longer be dealing with the things that we're dealing with on a global scale.
Yeah, and it just makes perfect sense to me that is something that we have to work together on making happen, because it's going to happen with or without us, and the powers that be are already building these infrastructures to use them for their benefit. But with the way that you guys have built your infrastructures, it's to help the everyday people stand a chance against that, and that is just an extremely powerful thing that you guys have built so far ahead of time.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention too, everybody go follow One Game Network. He's the president of Liberland. Go look that up. Nice.
Yeah, one game are phenomenal. One of the things I was really grateful that you brought to my attention, because when I looked deeper into that, it absolutely blew my mind what these guys have got going on. These guys are heavily engraved into the early development stages of Web3, and definitely worth looking into. Massive gratitude towards what you guys and these guys have been working together on building, because these guys work in the dark behind the scenes and never get credit for the amazing things they built, because at the best of times it's the copycat versions that seem to get all the credit. So it's these guys that you want to try and support and give credit to, and just look at what they've built. That's all that you'll need to do, because the rest will just happen.
Yeah, and I wanted to clear something up too about that. Like with MetaBuilders, while building MetaBuilders, my name is Mike Smart. I'm the founder of MetaBuilders, if anybody didn't know. But the reason why my face everywhere is because I was building MetaBuilders alone for quite some time, and I was having to get people to do things and pay them to do things that were outside of the ecosystem because the infrastructure didn't exist yet. And so I'm just using my face as an example, but I want to point out and be clear that MetaBuilders is not Mike Smart. MetaBuilders was built to completely work around, because I know what direction this industry is going. I can see patterns very clearly, and I understand that it's an inevitability that we're going to utilize this technology. And the next person who creates the business that supports the future of commerce in the way that it will be in the Web3 type of way, if it were a CEO, that person would become a trillionaire and then continue the process of wage slavery for everyone in the Web3 service industry. And when I got here, everyone was doing stuff for free, getting ripped off. The hardest workers, the smartest guys and gals were all getting ripped off by people that come in and say, let me write you a contract and I'll pay you in 6 months when we, complete the project, if we get VC funding, and it's like, that's the garbage that we're trying to build away from. And so with MetaBuilders, I built it in a way that gets me out of the way. It's like, I've got my pet projects, just like everyone else in the community of communities. I got SDP owls, and I plan to make my money off that. But MetaBuilders has been a massive sacrifice, and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in multiple years of my life building this thing for the community. And the community of communities is a blessing for MetaBuilders, because we're a bunch of nerds in the background. I mean, I'm a little bit different than most of the people in the ecosystem, but people don't want to be out talking about what they're doing. They're in their house in their pajamas, eating Cheetos and building the future. There's people like me who don't really thrive in public forums. And so community of communities is an amazing way to get high quality information to people in a way that is not super high level, hard to understand, and I encourage anybody who has a project and wants to uplift their project to come sign up for the community of communities, because they will listen to anybody, and it's a beautiful place to be.
No, I appreciate that, and we appreciate what you guys do, and you've done a great job of really opening our eyes to what that lies deeper in the NFT space, because a lot of people were blindsided, and me included at the beginning. I didn't realize just how deep the NFT technology went. I just thought it was digital art and embedded into crypto. That was basically as far as I thought it went. I didn't realize how the technology was actually being used like the way you guys utilize it in your trustless ecosystem, and the way that One Game utilize it, and the way you guys have been building around it. And when looking deeper into that and the things that you've shown me since since you've been helping us learn all this stuff, and it's kind of been mind-blowing to see how many copycat versions of many projects and many dApps and ecosystems have actually happened, and then it's been those guys that have been credited for the hard work that other people have been doing, like you guys and One Game. And it's I feel like it's our responsibility now to bring the right information that we've now learned to people in that fashion, and really put that content out there and help people see what's really been going on and who really played the part in building the infrastructures that people are building on. So it's been an amazing journey to learn that, and now knowing that it's our job to take that information and put it out there to the world.
Yeah, I wanted to mention real quick one more thing, is that like a lot of the times it becomes a situation where you become bitter because of it. And at least for me, speaking for myself, and I've noticed some other people in the industry as well, feeling and acting a similar way that I feel and act. And it's almost like a boomer type scenario, just fast forward motion. It's like, we got here in the industry, we built a bunch of stuff. We did it on the back of an ideology. We did it for the purpose of decentralization and freedom. And then people, I'm not trying to talk smack, but people like Gary Vee comes in with a very traditional conquering type mentality to, just hyper focus on one aspect of the space and then sell the fuck out of it until it's trash, and then here we are years down the road, and we're still, as meta builders and metagame and Token Smart and all these different people that have been here since the beginning, still doing the same stuff, building in the metaverse, having fun with each other, living the world of Web3. And it has nothing to do with PFPs. Like Louis C. Rhymes just had made a post saying, music NFTs do not equal PFPs. Like, it doesn't have to just all be Bored Apes and punks. It can be everything else. And that's the whole point. Like, uplift the people who were here, walk down the road that we designed, or fuck off back to Web 2, because you ain't welcome.
Yeah, but that should have been what drew people's attention towards what was really going on. If that was what caught people's attention, this PFP art movement, that people should have been like, yeah, no, this is really cool, but this is how it was created. These are the people that built this infrastructure, and this is what these guys are doing with the technology, because you can do so much more than just have it as a profile picture but have full ownership of it. But that's never happened. It's just people, like you said, like Gary Vee is a prime example of taking a lot of credit for really uplifting the space, if you will, and absolutely ruining it. And the reason as to why it was really built.
Right, and it's like you don't get it if you're buying PFPs but don't support the culture. And the culture's not apes, the culture's not punks, never has been. It only became that, like Dogecoin, for example. Dogecoin was a joke. It was meant to be a joke. And someone made some goofy little, the crappiest quality art they could possibly make with the most high-tech technology that they could make it with. And that's what made the crypto punks, unique and special, is because never before has there been a display of digital art, like that was attached to cryptographic code. And that's something new. It's a new asset class. And PFPs was like a sad... kind of like when electricity wasn't not invented, but acknowledged, harnessed. People thought it was meant just for a light bulb, right? Well, that's what PFPs are, a bunch of light bulb thinking motherfuckers. Yeah, but you got to realize that it powers the rest of the entire world and every device that will be created in the future as well. So turn off the light and ponder a bit, about what other use cases we have here.
Yeah, and that's a really good example, because if we could, generate our own electricity to power our own houses, that would prevent people in power being in power with such a useful tool that can be used for so many things. And I think that almost feels like the point, like I actually remember when on the Coinbase platform, the description of Dogecoin was a joke / meme version of Bitcoin to mock the industry. And then they changed the description once Elon Musk got involved with it and sort of made it into more of an asset. And I remember because I remember going back to screenshot the description because someone didn't believe me and they'd actually changed it. And I couldn't believe that they changed it to make it more of a, it was almost designed to just be a meme coin, but it was described as a joke in the description before they changed it.
Yep. Yeah, my point being is just that, it's time that we all paid attention to the important things that are happening in the world, because if we continue to be distracted by the PFPs and the shiny stuff and we don't utilize this momentum that we've created over the past couple of years, then like what's happening now, the industry like Microsoft and all these other companies are going to move in. They're going to take their billions and trillions of dollars. They're going to shut people like me up, like they have many times. It's shutting down my social media and all that stuff. Unless we're building on Web3, we're not going to be able to continue to build. There's a matter of time before they take control of the internet, just like they tried to take control of the real world. And they go hand in hand at this point in time. So we need a sort of declaration of independence for the internet.
Yeah, we need to start doing these in the metaverse. I mean, that's the reality.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's the thing. People don't go to the metaverse, so that's why and I back office type conversation here, but that's why I've been trying to get people to say, hey, every single space that we have like this, we point to the metaverse where I spent days and days building. Where we have a collaborative effort in there with all of links to all of our projects. That way we can show people what it is that I was talking about to begin with. Like a metaverse, if everyone's promoting one single place that is the combination of all of the recent technologies packed into one thing, the best way to monetize all of our efforts in one area is to support that three-dimensional website that houses all of our links to all of our projects. And it's a fun way to interact with them, not just go to a website, buy a freaking two-dimensional NFT, and then talk about it for the rest of your life. It's like boring.
Yeah.
I just wanted to quickly say, sorry, Tricky. I just wanted to quickly say to One Game Initiative as well that this platform is built for, guys like you to speak about what you guys do, so that we can preserve the history and what you guys have been building. So just know that you guys and your ecosystems are always welcome to utilize this platform to its fullest. And if that's something you guys want to do, reach out. If you just want us to speak about what you do on your behalf, that's what this platform is for. But sorry, Tricky, carry on.
Yeah, well said. Click on that Revolution, and he's got a pinned post with a bunch of helpful information, some links, and the form to fill out so you can be a sponsored project for one of our Friday or Saturday spaces. It's a great opportunity, and I'm always doing spaces, Monday through Friday. You can turn on notifications and jump in, and I'm usually in a space that's a friendly space where we can share our art. And if you add that plus to your name, it'll draw a little more attention, and I'll try to bring you up on stage as well. So definitely a great opportunity to get involved with the community here. I'm a DeFi space donkey, a lover of crypto and NFTs. I want to hear about all the projects coming out, so definitely tap in. But back to what we were saying. Using I really like the idea of using spatial and stuff. There's a lot of assets and a lot of technology that's come out that's free to use and easy to use. You can use it on your computer, on your phone. My old phone doesn't want to do spatial, but the new phone I have does seem to work. So some of the more complicated spatial spaces kind of get loading issues. Our spatial is not super large with a lot of graphics, so it does load fairly easy. There's a really cool like mega city and some other things I've been trying to explore, but I just can't really explore it very easily with my old technology. But you know,
Right.
we're all getting closer to the point where we could just do meetings in the metaverse. I would love to be able to do that. I think we should start doing it probably in the next 6 months. We should be doing both at least, you know, where we do a Twitter space, but we're also chilling there in the metaverse. And if people want to jump in the metaverse, they can. And if people want to just stay on this, you know, Web2 platform, we can do that too. You know, we'll be
Right. Well,
be kind of
the idea is to create experiences and to incentivize people to come to the metaverse. So, like, here's an example. At the end of every space, the project that we have on, you know, once we start monetizing this thing or whatever, and we have the books rolling out and everything, then we can use X amount of the marketing budget for our clients to create or like purchase one of their NFTs and then give it away in the metaverse. So after every space, all right, everyone, let's go to the metaverse. We're going to give away this project's NFT today, and then we'll all take a selfie, and whoever's involved in X amount of selfies in the metaverse after our spaces gets whatever benefit NFT. You know what I mean? Like really fully utilize the technologies that exist and incentivize people with these technologies.
Yeah, it'd be kind of good if I think we to at one point make like a community of communities token that we could use to reward people, and then you know use that token to participate in giveaways and stuff like that. That'd be good, but definitely got to like provide some giveaways in the metaverse. I like that idea.
Yeah, we can create. We'll see. Talk to one game and see if they can't figure out a way to integrate this money layer system in these virtual environments like metaverses, and then we can transact with these social tokens within these virtual environments, and that would be next level.
Yeah, definitely, and with the fact that you know one of the end results of our NFT book being the game / metaverse that we're building, that they could implement their technology into what we're building as well.
We need to put a digital version of the book in our spatial as well, so people can kind of thumb through it there. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, definitely. If anyone who's listening wants to speak, you're more than welcome to. If anyone wants to raise a hand, they can. The space is coming to an end shortly, so if anyone does have anything to add, now's the time to jump up. Definitely. I've just been looking at some people who've joined tonight that I've not seen before that I'm hoping we can, you know, connect with and speak with, and hopefully get some of you guys to come and join our spaces and, you know, get on the stage, because looking at what some of you guys do, it's actually really impressive, and I'm looking forward to learning more about what you guys do.
Yeah, and if you want to get in the book, you can DM any one of us up top. So, yeah.
Yep, let's go. It's been a great Saturday. Thank you everyone for stopping by and sharing the space, sharing your time. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with us. I love it. Communities, let's go. Add that plus and you're with us.
That's it. Well said, Tricky. Yeah, if anyone's in here and wonders what all these pluses mean, that's a way that we can represent each other without having to sacrifice our own identities. You don't have to change your name. You don't have to change your profile picture, but obviously adding the plus would be the only addition you'd make. But it just stands for community, togetherness, positivity, being an addition, adding value, and represents Web3 and its core roots to where it really came from and how it really came about. So yeah, that is what the plus stands for. So does anybody have any questions? You know, does anyone want to learn more about the book while you have us here? If not, like Tricky said, if you just click on the links above or click on my profile, there's links there that'll take you to. There's an article that Meta Builders had written for us. It's got all the information about the NFT book, the communities, our partners, and all the things that we're doing. And all the links are in that article right there for you to check out. And Meta Builders actually write many articles about all things Web3. So if anyone's listening that wants to learn more, definitely a place to go and start and learn about the things that have been built for you guys to utilize.
Yeah, and big shout out to Ben, Earl, and Nathan from Crypto Magazine for coming out, always supporting. Really appreciate it. I know they're not here, but I wanted to add that to the recording because that's what this space was originally about. I just came on because they all had to leave early.
Yeah, they're very busy, aren't they, at the minute?
Yeah, cheers for joining us. I think everyone got a much better idea of who you are and what you do and what Met Builders is all about.
Thank you.
I will just add one thing. Nothing in this space is financial advice. You do need to do your own research. It's for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Word.
Thank you, sir. Well said. And that is very important. Yeah, always remember that your investments are exactly that, your investments. And on that note, I just want to thank everyone, the hosts, the guests for listening to our spaces. If you wouldn't mind supporting us and following the hosts, co-hosts, speakers, and anyone that you see with a plus, these guys are out here every day working extremely hard to build the infrastructures and keep this platform growing the way that it does. Networking, they would literally work 7 days a week, no breaks in between. So massive shout out to the team, to the community, and to the real OGs of the Web3 space. We always leave with a song that we start with.